Searching for Austin Oldfield and looking at cases of other missing people, it's changed my perspective a little bit about the outdoors and just how I handle myself and the things that I take with me. I'm pretty experienced in the outdoors. I've been an outdoor enthusiast all my life, spent a lot of time camping, backpacking, mountain climbing, some rock climbing, things like that, skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing. So I'm pretty familiar with, how to take care of myself, how to be prepared for various conditions. But it has made me think about some pieces of gear that have been missing from my kit or kits when I go out. And also to make sure that some of my older gear is present or in really good shape. One thing that has changed with me that I don't really feel comfortable with is a little bit more fear of the unknown. And that's one of my main goals actually in this channel, is to educate people so that they can be more prepared when they're in the outdoors, to be less afraid, because fear is one of the things that will kill you. It's important to keep a really level head in all situations, especially in emergency. One of the things that has led to me in this fear are the tracks that I found that were just bizarre, and they're not Sasquatch tracks, traditional Sasquatch tracks. They look more like giant ape tracks. And that doesn't really fit into the Sasquatch community, really. And I'm not, like I said, I'm open to Sasquatch, but I haven't been like, oh yeah, there's definitely a Sasquatch. But I can't really reconcile that there's something out there, or somehow that those things got there. And they really don't look like they were planted to me. I would have a hard time believing that they were planted, although that's the only explanation I can come up with, unless there is something really there. And that really bothers me and disturbs me. Also, just the stories about the hunters being tracked by cougars, almost attacked by a bear. Now, one thing about hunters is usually they'll have a deer scent on them, or some sort of animal scent. So an animal could be following them, and just because they smell like a deer or some other prey, some of their prey. So I don't have that, but there are plenty of instances every year of people being attacked by wild animals. And just because you are in an area where there aren't stories of people being attacked, there still could be people being attacked, and they're just missing, and we haven't found them. And in searching for Austin, the area where he went missing itself has become mysterious, where it used to just be, oh, this is a really neat piece of the wilderness. Now I see all these events or these strange things, and it's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle to me. It's like it's the Sawtooth Triangle, where there's all these mysteries. You've got these clothes that I found that some search and rescue team had found, and to me they don't look like they've been just thrown off the path. It looks like they've been scattered a little bit, and maybe an animal came through and scattered them later on. But anyhow, they're still there. And just a little to the east of that, I found those odd tracks. There is Sawtooth Mountain itself, which I've climbed several times, but the cliffs, I couldn't get to the cliffs. And it's not that it's not achievable, and it's just a short mountain. I mean, it's only 5,000 feet, and it's about 1,000 feet from the trailhead or the road up to the summit. And every time I try to take a picture, it'd be really far off in the distance, or it'd be open up, and I'd take my camera out, and it would be covered with mist again and clouds. I remember seeing it. I was like, oh wow, that cliff is amazing, really tremendous. And And so I got my camera out and I went to take a picture of it, and it was gone. So Sawtooth Mountain in itself is a mystery. Then there's Ochenna's stories of Sasquatch. There's her sighting just east of her camp. And she says that one of her friends saw something or heard some noises that they felt were Sasquatch or Bigfoot just east of the Cold Spring Lakes and the whole series of lakes there. And also at Cold Springs Campground, Ochenna says that there was a little boy that was just terrified and insisted he go home because he'd seen something there that scared him to death that looked like a skookum or a Bigfoot. There's also the camp at Cold Spring Lake that was abandoned. And honestly, that could just be a transient or somebody who thought they were going to go home. You know, they're spending most of the summer up there picking berries, and they were going to go back for a couple weeks and just never made it back to their camp. My paranoid mind wants to go down the path and say, this camp, whoever was living here was abducted or eaten by Sasquatches or something like that. And so I think that's ridiculous. And then there's just the fact that Austin disappeared in that area as well. That was where he was last seen. So there's all these things that are somewhat explainable, but odd, and some of them are possibly not true, but they're just bizarre stories all within the Sawtooth Triangle. Those are things I have to fight in my mind when I'm out there. And honestly, the more I go out there, the less I want to be alone in the woods, because I think it's not smart, and I'm really realizing that more and more. All of those strange things, scary things are fun to think about. Maybe some of them are true. But if things are really going wrong, if I'm in trouble, I need to put that fear to the side and let the logical part of my mind come forward. I need to think about food, shelter, keeping dry, keeping warm, staying put, signaling for help. And thinking about all of those things are going to help me survive if there's a really bad situation going on.
That's a deep subject right there. Everybody's got an opinion about that, you know. Been years worth of research, and